we'll try replicating this Apple ad using only AI tools. Hey everyone, my name is Oscar and I share tips on how to make amazing marketing videos. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Recently, Apple launched their iPhone Titanium video and I found it super exciting. Lots of great energy and action going on, and I thought how good would AI be at replicating this kind of ad, which has a lot of special effects and great cinematography. Now, I know that me sitting up on my computer for a few hours won't compare to the amazing work that these people did, but I'm intrigued to see how far in the creative pitching this can be taken. Could it be just a proof of concept, or can it be taken to a final product? So I decided to test it out. For this, I'll be using two main tools, Midjourney and RunwayML. Midjourney is a beast with image creation. If you've seen images out there that look really professional but were created with AI, they probably use this tool. The community is amazing. I always get inspired by all the work that they do. And it makes it the perfect tool to start creating the shots and the images for this trailer. So let's take a look at the trailer in detail and do a breakdown of the scene. First, we have the opening scene, which is like a big explosion, a close-up of rock moving super fast, entering a cloud of fire, and then navigating through planets, crashing through Saturn, flying by Mars, and finally entering Earth, where it falls into a lava lake. Here we have a quick break, and then we have a quick set of actions of Titanium and the phone itself. So, our simple 30-second trailer suddenly became 40 sequences that we need to generate with AI. At least we have them all organized and we can keep track of them as we go through the process. With Midjourney, I like to start with simple prompts at the beginning, see what it gives me, and then start iterating, adding more complexity or details. I even like to ask Bing to give me an optimized prompt for Midjourney with very particular details, and usually I get more interesting and unique results. A challenge that I usually face with Midjourney is to create consistent images from one scene to another. This is especially crucial when creating a video, as you want the images to look coherent, as if they're all part of the same world. For this, I use a couple of tricks. The first one is to click on the envelope reaction emoji in Discord, which will give you the seed of the image. This is kind of like the starting point that Midjourney used to start generating the image, and therefore if you use the same starting point across all of your different shots, you will get pretty similar images. Other ways that I try to ensure consistency between the prompts is to keep the aesthetic descriptions the same between the scenes, as well as using previous images as input for new images. That way, Midjourney takes this as a reference in terms of the style and type of composition that I'm looking for and applies it to the new generation. And then it's just about keep going and iterating. Usually, it is pretty hard to get the exact angle that I want, so I'm usually happy with something that looks similar. It's important to have a threshold and be open to different options. If I want a little bit more variability, I use the remix feature or the zoom out to add more details and or change the perspective of the shot. Once we save the images that we created in Midjourney, it's time to move into Runway. Runway is a great tool for creating videos from images. They recently introduced Gen 2 video generator, which you can use to generate any video from text or images. Keep in mind that generating videos takes way longer than generating multiple images. Therefore, we want to have this great image from Midjourney as a good starting point so that we ensure that our videos are coming up as close as we want them to. One of the new features that Runway added is to add descriptions to your image input. At the beginning, it wasn't that great, but now it is pretty helpful in trying to describe the image and the motion that you want to see from the video. Not giving it a prompt makes Runway try to guess how the motion in this image should look like, which can be really hit or miss. If you have any specific camera motion in mind, you can easily use their camera controls and control the amount of movement that you want to see in the camera, and that usually gives you more accurate results. I say usually because you will need to generate multiple versions of the video from the single image until you find the one that you like. As you go through the different videos that you're generating, make sure to start downloading the ones that you like the most. You can easily keep track of them in a folder and avoid losing them in the sea of videos that you've generated. You can also extend the videos. If you feel like they're too short, you can easily generate 4 more seconds of videos by clicking this button. Personally, I prefer to keep it short, and since it's a trailer, it usually has a lot of cuts, so there's not many moments to keep a shot for that long. Here's a few learnings that I got when using Runway to recreate this ad. The first one is that Runway tends to create shots that are very slow and cinematic. There's not a lot of movement in the objects. You can easily specify the camera movement that you want, but the object itself in the camera doesn't move that much, which makes it very suitable for like epic or slow trailers, but it's not that great for energetic or action-first trailers like this one, even when you crank up the motion control. So that's something to keep in mind for your future generation. The second big learning, it is very difficult to get the specified camera angle that you want. So for example, this shot, that is the POV of a rock flying through a cloud of fire, was impossible to recreate either in Midjourney or Runway. I just didn't find the right descriptive words to generate such a thing. Therefore, you need to be open to other ideas, or if you're using this as a pitch, you could try to include this as a reference, or maybe try to add a sketch of how this might look like. It really limits the creation of these ideas, but you can't also spend too many hours trying to get that perfect shot. And 3, Midjourney and Runway had a lot of trouble trying to generate Saturn's rings, which I thought it was pretty curious because Saturn is like a very popular planet, so they would have it in their database, but I got some kind of wacky stuff, no matter how simple or how complex the prompts I tried. After I put the videos together in CapCut, I added the original video as another layer so I could have it as a reference for the cuts. This helped a lot as I had the timing and the sound design from the original trailer. And here's the final result. While it lacks the energy and the movement of the original trailer, I feel like this works really well for a proof of concept, at least if you were pitching the idea of a rock coming from space and going through all of these planets and fire to finally crash into a pool of lava from where the phone emerges. I feel like this trailer could be a great use for a creative pitch. It only took a few hours of me just playing around in Runway, rather than a whole creative team to put together. Now with this idea in mind, we would leave it to the experts to work their magic. So I think there's a lot of potential for these tools to present either a previs or a proof of concept before the actual shoot begins, in order to make sure that everybody is aligned on the same idea. And I'm really excited to see where these tools go on the next few months, because the quality is just getting better and better. For sure, I will be testing them out. The people who created this video, they're one of my favorite production studios. They're amazing at what they do. Go check it out, they're the mill. I hope this gave you a better idea of how these tools work and motivate you to start experimenting on your own. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I have more videos coming up that will help you take your marketing and video production to a new level.